Hey everyone, welcome to Learning Sharp. Been extremely busy lately, sorry about that, the lack of videos. But I thought we would make a quick video today on loading strops with different types of abrasive. So I got this is horse butt leather, prepped and just on a 1 inch. These would be a 2.5 by 8 pine block. My strops are nothing impressive that I make for myself. Custom ones are obviously a ton nicer. I actually don't have any laying around right now. I packed them all up this morning. This one is 1 micron gunny juice. So I thought we'd go over reloading some strops. Make sure y'all can see me good here. Yeah. All right. So we got some loading here and just some bare spots from where I cleaned it last. I take a rag and literally just kind of wipe that top layer off. That shows you all the loading and just that top layer. Now obviously this needs to be a junk rag, and you cannot use the spots that you cleaned one strop with on another because you'll be contaminating your emulsions. So we got some 1 micron gunny juice. The way I like to do it is use this is an acid brush from like Ace Hardware. You can use a little arts and crafts paintbrush, whatever, but these were cheap. And I won't put much, just for a top off kind of deal here. But I'll squirt some on there and just kind of start working it around. When I load strops, I don't load the whole thing. The ends fill in over time. So like if I load a strop for myself for the first time, or one that I make for somebody, I'll only load about 6 inches of it. Because nobody really strops all the way end to end. It just, people don't. But I will clean the brush off on the end, and eventually they get loaded. I'll put one more squirt on this one too, just because we're here. Like I said, it doesn't take much. The applicator bottles that gunny juice comes in really does a good job not wasting any. Any waste you see is from me with the brush or just being really sloppy. I put them in Ziploc baggies marked with the micron rating. That way I don't cross-contaminate with another emulsion, and so I don't have to constantly clean them. You can clean them with rubbing alcohol, but I'm lazy and just don't want to be bothered with it. So we're freshly loaded. We'll let that dry for a little bit. One of the next ones is, this is another one of mine with homemade 1.5 micron diamond spray. It actually doesn't have it on there, so we're going to label it. That way we know. We don't forget. So same kind of deal here. I'm going to take a clean spot in the rag. Just get off the loading. It's going to pull some of the diamond spray off. Pull some of the swarf metal out of it, as you can see. Now, the sprays, this is homemade 1.5 micron diamond. As you can see, it settles real bad. So we gotta shake it up real good. The biggest issue with the homemade sprays, or actually any spray, sorry, not just homemade, they make a mess. There's a lot of waste involved with the sprays. I'll give it a good generous loading because I won't do it again for a while. But as you can see, there's a lot of waste. That's one of the biggest reasons I don't care 4 sprays, but that's where I got my start when I started with diamond, was just making my own. So I still like to do it just to have some around, and I don't know, something I like to do. Another one we can do is plain old Bark River Green on the flesh side of some leather. I don't use this much anymore either. I use it for leather working tools, chisels, planing irons, stuff like that. If I'm just stropping them real quick, I'm not looking for amazing results. If I'm looking for amazing results, I'll go to the gunny juice for basically everything. But I do still like this on some traditional knives. You know, your KCV 1095. I'm big into the traditional knives, so I do still enjoy. See where I've deburred on the edges and stuff. So let's load one of these. I'm gonna take some 120 grit emery cloth that I was sanding leather with, knocking down the edges of some slips, and just get in there, kind of rough this up a little bit. And what it does is get some of the old compound off, but it also spreads the compound a little deeper into the leather. Doesn't let it clump and wax as much. Because if I'm doing flesh side loading, I won't get out the heat gun or the hair dryer and heat the block of chromium oxide up or the leather. I just don't bother. We've had the same brick of Bark River Green here for a really long time. Stuff lasts forever. And then we'll just color it in. No rhyme or reason here, just, and I'll just take the sandpaper just to break up where it waxes and clumps up. Some people like to reapply this to their strop before every sharpening. I don't. I just don't bother. I don't really think it's necessary. Again, we're just lightly breaking up where it started to wax and clump up, and push the fibers down on the leather. When I'm sharpening stuff like CV or 1095 and such like that, sometimes I'll take a strop like this and I'll hit the blade between each stone, just to help break down that burr. Some 1095 and CV really will show a stubborn burr on you, and sometimes I have trouble removing it. So that's just a little quick and dirty trick there. Pick a clean spot on the towel. There we go. We're freshly loaded. Get rid of that. So again, that's just a quick video on some of the common stuff that I like to load on strops and whatnot. Depending on what you're sharpening, what you're honing, really will dictate what you're trying to do. Green chromium oxide, there's so many. I mean, you can buy this stuff at Harbor Freight, Lowe's, Home Depot, Bark River, off Harbor Freight. Everywhere sells this stuff. There's some other ones out there. I recently found out about one called, I believe it's Pastagoy. It's a Russian one. It's supposedly pretty good. I've never tried it. The only thing with the green chromium oxide is, depending on the steel that you're stropping, it won't always abrade a high carbide steel. It's really not gonna. It might polish some to an extent, but it's just not gonna, it's not gonna truly hone and sharpen that edge all the way to where you need it to be for deburring and for edge maintenance on a high vanadium carbide steel. That said, I enjoyed on low, well, basically carbides, or carbon steels, 1095, CV, stuff like that. Your diamond sprays, especially the monocrystalline, homemade, water-based type sprays. Again, you can get this stuff everywhere. eBay, you can buy the diamond lapidary compound, make it yourself. There's a couple of bigger retailers that do sell it. It's pretty good, but it lacks the binder and carrier that a true emulsion has. It's just water. You guys will make it with rubbing alcohol, hand sanitizer. It dries a little faster if you do that. I don't bother. So without that carrier, you can get agglomeration depending on the micron rating. So you'll have clumps. You don't have a consistent true size, particle size. So some guys will say that the results are hit or miss. Does it hone? It hones just fine. It's diamond lapidary compound for industrial use. That said, it's an awesome budget-friendly option, and it works. You're not gonna beat polycrystalline diamond emulsion, especially gunny juice. It really is the best one on the market at the moment, and probably always will be. Scott Gunn over at Gunny Sharp Talk has put a ton of time, science, knowledge, and years of sharpening experience behind this product, all the way down to his packaging, the bottle, the way it applies, the whole 9 yards. You're not going to be able to beat it. It pretty much sharpens. It's a stropping compound, but it pretty much sharpens. This stuff is top notch. But that said, we got 3 different stropping substrates here. We have 3 different compounds for 3 different applications and 3 totally different budgets. So there's something for everybody. Don't be afraid to try stuff and just experience it. It'll make you a better sharpener and more well-rounded. Appreciate you guys watching. Try and come up with something else to show y'all. Like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram at Learning Sharp. Thanks.